AITA for refusing to give my baby to my twin sister who has always been the golden child? Hey Reddit, I honestly don't even know how to start this, but I'm in a really tough spot and I need some outside perspectives because my head and heart are both a mess right now. I'm a 28-year-old single woman, currently 7 months pregnant, and I live on my own. My sister and I are twins, but that's where the similarities pretty much end. She's always been the golden child in our family, the one who could do no wrong. From as far back as I can remember, she got special treatment, constant praise, and the best of everything. Growing up, it was painfully obvious who my parents' favorite was. She was the perfect daughter in their eyes. Straight A's, she was celebrated. If I got good grades, it was met with, "That's nice, but your sister did better." On birthdays, she'd get elaborate gifts while I got something practical. I still remember one Christmas when she unwrapped a brand new laptop, and I got socks and a lecture about being grateful. I used to tell myself I was imagining it, but deep down, I always felt like the extra child, the one standing in her shadow. Now we're adults. She's married, and from what I've heard, her husband is genuinely a good guy. They have a nice home, solid jobs, and what looks like a stable life. But they've been struggling with infertility for years. I knew that was hard on her, and despite everything, I did feel sympathy. I never thought it would come back to me like this. A few weeks ago, my parents asked me to come over. The moment I walked into their living room, I felt something was off. They were sitting stiffly on the couch, exchanging looks like they were rehearsing lines in their heads. My mom folded her hands and said, "We need to talk about something important." That's when they dropped it. My dad cleared his throat and said, "We think the best solution, for everyone, is for you to give your baby to your sister and her husband once it's born." I swear my ears started ringing. I just stared at them, my hand instinctively going to my belly. My heart sank so hard it felt like it hit the floor. I actually laughed at first because I genuinely thought they were joking. I said, "What are you talking about?" My mom's voice was calm, almost rehearsed. "You're single, she's married, they have a stable home. You know how much she's suffered not being able to have a child." My dad nodded and added, "Your sister deserves this. She's always wanted to be a mother, and she can give the baby a better life than you can." Hearing the word deserves made something inside me crack. This wasn't a hypothetical conversation. They were seriously talking about my baby like it was a solution to someone else's problem. I felt my stomach twist, partly from the baby kicking, partly from pure shock. I tried to explain, my voice shaking, "This is my child. I'm already attached. I'm not some surrogate." But they kept pushing. They said I'd still be the aunt, that it would be better for the family, and that I should be selfless for once. That last part hurt the most. All I could think was how, once again, I was being asked to give something up so my sister could have what she wanted. I left their house feeling numb, my mind racing, my chest tight. I sat in my car for almost 20 minutes, just staring at the steering wheel, trying not to cry. I love my baby already. I talk to them. I feel them move. I imagine our future together. And now my own parents think I should just hand that away, because my sister is still the priority. This left me feeling completely heartbroken and absolutely furious. I understand that my parents are excited about the idea of becoming grandparents, but that doesn't erase the fact that this is my child. I've worked hard, emotionally, financially, mentally, to prepare for this baby. Every appointment, every sleepless night worrying about the future, every plan I've made has been about giving my child a safe and loving life. I firmly believe my baby deserves to be raised by me. Sure, I'm not the picture-perfect family in my parents' eyes. I'm not married, I don't have a husband and a house with a white picket fence, but I have love to give. I have a stable job, a roof over my head, and a growing sense of determination that surprised even me. When I place my hand on my belly and feel my baby move, I know, deep in my bones, that I am already a mother. When I first told them no, I honestly thought that would be the end of it. I said it clearly and calmly, "I'm not giving my baby away." I assumed, maybe naively, that they'd realize how unreasonable they were being. Instead, they escalated. A few days later, I got a text from my mom saying, "We need to have a family meeting. This is serious." My stomach dropped the moment I read it. I already knew this wasn't going to be a conversation. It was going to be an ambush. When I walked into their house, my sister was there too, sitting on the couch with her hands folded in her lap, not meeting my eyes. Her husband sat beside her, quiet and uncomfortable. My parents positioned themselves across from me like some kind of panel. I felt like I was on trial. My dad started by saying, "We just want everyone to be happy." Then my mom jumped in, her voice sharp but controlled. "You're being selfish. Your sister has tried for years to have a baby. You could make this right." I could feel my face heating up. I said, "You're talking about my child, not a charity donation." That's when my mom delivered the ultimatum that still echoes in my head. She looked me straight in the eyes and said, "If you don't do this for your sister, we will withdraw all support from you, financial, emotional, everything, and we will stop considering you part of this family." I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. My hands were shaking and I had to fight back tears. I remember glancing at my sister, silently begging her to say something, to step in and tell them this had gone too far. She just sat there, staring at the floor. I stood up, my voice breaking, and said, "So you're willing to disown me because I won't give away my baby?" No one answered. I left feeling more isolated than I ever have in my life. I cried the entire drive home, one hand on the steering wheel and the other on my belly, apologizing to my baby for the chaos surrounding us. For the first time, I truly understood that my family's love had always come with conditions, and I was finally refusing to meet them. Since then, I've made my stance absolutely clear. I told my parents, "My child is not a pawn in this ridiculous game. I am not giving up my baby." I also told them how shocked and hurt I was that they would even ask such a thing. I expected anger or disappointment, but not this level of emotional blackmail. Now I'm terrified that my refusal has permanently fractured what little relationship we had left. Part of me is grieving the family I wish I had, while another part is angry that they forced me into this position at all. So, Reddit, AITA for saying no to my parents and refusing to give my baby to my sister? Update 1. First of all, thank you to everyone who commented, messaged, and showed support. I genuinely did not expect this to blow up the way it did. I posted while feeling overwhelmed and alone, and reading your responses made me feel seen for the first time in a long while. A lot of people suggested that I move or install security cameras, so I wanted to clarify a few things because I realize my situation isn't as simple as it might sound from the outside. I can't get cameras right now, not because I don't want to, but because I literally can't afford them. During the massive fight that ultimately led to me moving out of my parents' house, things got heated. Voices were raised, accusations were thrown around, and at one point my dad lost his temper. My laptop was on the dining table, and in the chaos, it got knocked to the floor and shattered. No apology, no offer to replace it. Just silence, like it didn't matter. That laptop was my main expense buffer, and replacing it isn't something I can manage right now. As for moving, that's also not an option. I bought my current house just 5 months ago. I'm still financially recovering from that purchase, and between mortgage payments, pregnancy-related expenses, and preparing for a newborn, there's simply no way I can afford to relocate. Even typing that out makes my chest feel tight because I wish I had more flexibility. The one small relief in all of this is that my parents and my sister don't know where I live. I was very intentional about that when I moved out, and now I'm more grateful than ever that I kept my address private. Knowing they can't just show up unannounced gives me at least a little peace of mind. I also realized I left out an important detail in my original post. My sister and her husband currently live with my parents. Looking back, that context probably explains a lot about how emboldened everyone feels to pressure me. They're all under one roof, feeding off each other's emotions and reinforcing the idea that I'm the problem for not fixing things by giving up my baby. Right now, I'm trying to focus on staying calm and protecting myself and my child, emotionally and physically. I'm exhausted, scared, and still processing how quickly my own family turned on me, but I'm holding on to one thing. No matter what they say or threaten, this is my baby, and I won't let anyone take that away. Update 2. A lot of people keep asking why I even need strangers on the internet to tell me whether I'm the jerk here or why I'm struggling so much with the idea of cutting my parents off completely. I want to explain that because it's not as simple as flipping a switch and walking away. The truth is, part of me feels insanely guilty. No matter how badly they've handled this, they're still my parents. They raised me. They're the only family I've ever really had, even if that family has always felt uneven and conditional. Cutting them off doesn't just feel like protecting myself. It feels like doing something irreversible, like slamming a door I can never reopen. I also can't stop thinking about my child. Every time I imagine my baby growing up, I picture birthdays, holidays, family gatherings, and then my chest tightens because I think, am I selfish for denying my child grandparents, an aunt, extended family? I worry that one day my child might ask, why don't we have grandparents like other kids? And I won't know how to answer without sounding bitter or broken. Even knowing everything they've said and done, that guilt still creeps in. It whispers that maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I should be more understanding, maybe this is just grief talking on their side. Years of growing up as the second choice have trained me to question my own boundaries and prioritize their feelings over my own. So when I stand firm now, it feels unnatural, like I'm doing something wrong even when I know logically that I'm not. What makes this harder is that I'm not just making decisions for myself anymore. I'm making them for my child. I want to do the right thing. I want to break the cycle of favoritism and conditional love, not pass it down to the next generation. But walking away from your own parents even when they hurt you isn't easy. It's painful, it's confusing, and it comes with a lot of grief for the family I wish I had, not the one I actually do. That's why I'm here asking if I'm the jerk, because despite everything, I still feel torn between protecting my baby and holding on to the last scraps of a family bond that may have never really been fair to begin with. Update 3. I've read through your comments over and over again. Some of them hurt to read, some of them made me cry, but all of them forced me to face a truth I'd been avoiding. After a lot of sleepless nights and more anxiety than I can describe, I made a decision I never thought I'd actually go through with. I cut contact with them. I blocked my parents, my sister, and her husband today. Phone numbers, social media, everything. My hands were shaking while I did it. I remember staring at my mom's contact name for a long time before finally hitting block, feeling like I was committing some unforgivable act. But the moment it was done, there was also this strange, quiet sense of relief. Like I could finally breathe without waiting for the next threat or guilt trip. That peace didn't last long. Apparently, they noticed almost immediately. Within hours, they started posting about me nonstop on social media. I've had friends send me screenshots because I can't see it myself anymore. According to them, I'm heartless, ungrateful, and destroying the family. The worst part? They made up a story claiming that I agreed to carry a baby for my sister and her husband and then changed my mind at the last minute. Seeing that lie written out made me physically sick. I never agreed to anything, not once. But they're saying it with so much confidence that people are believing it. Most of my extended family is on their side now. They live a few hours away and they don't know about the lifelong favoritism, the manipulation, or the emotional pressure. To them, my parents are loving, generous people, and my sister is the sweet daughter who's always done everything right. I'm just the difficult one causing drama. It hurts knowing my name is being dragged through the mud while I'm sitting alone in my house, pregnant, trying to keep my stress levels down for my baby. Update 4. I do have some good news though, and I'm holding on to it tightly. I found cameras. They're nothing fancy, cheap ones that connect directly to my phone, but they work. When I set them up, I actually cried. It sounds dramatic, but knowing I'll have eyes on my home makes me feel safer than I've felt in weeks. I didn't realize how tense my body had been until that small layer of protection was in place. I also spoke to my OB and made everything crystal clear. I told them that under no circumstances are my parents, my sister, or anyone associated with them allowed anywhere near me or my baby. My doctor took me seriously, documented everything, and reassured me that hospital security would be informed. Walking out of that appointment, I felt empowered for the first time in a long while. Unfortunately, most of my extended family has me blocked now, so I can't even send proof or defend myself. And even if I could, I don't actually have evidence. Nothing was ever said over text or messages. Everything was spoken, behind closed doors, where they can now deny it freely. That part still eats at me, especially when I think about how easily my parents rewrote the story to make themselves look like victims. One last thing I never mentioned before, but it feels important to say now. My baby is a girl. Saying that out loud makes everything feel more real. I keep thinking about her future, about the kind of love I want to give her, the kind that doesn't come with conditions or comparisons. I don't know what the fallout from all of this will look like, and I'm still scared. But I do know one thing for certain now. I'm choosing her. Every single time. Update 5. I just hit 8 months, and honestly, I didn't think I'd make it this far emotionally without completely falling apart. I want to start by saying thank you, truly, to everyone who's offered advice, support, and even tough love. I've read every suggestion, even when I didn't respond. A lot of you have been urging me to file a police report. I understand why, and I promise I've thought long and hard about it, but the reality is I can't. As awful as my parents' behavior has been, they haven't actually done anything illegal. No threats, no showing up at my house, no physical harm. As much as it hurts to admit, there's nothing concrete I can take to the police right now. All I can do is stay alert and protect myself in the ways that are available to me. Update 6. I also want to address something that keeps coming up, my laptop. Many people are saying I should file a report for that alone. Unfortunately, that's not an option either. I didn't technically own the computer. My parents originally bought it for my sister. When she cracked the screen, they immediately replaced it for her and allowed me to use the old one for school and personal work. So legally, it was still considered their property. When they broke it during that argument, it wasn't destruction of my property, even though I was the one who relied on it daily. Trust me, that realization stung more than I expected. Update 7. It's been a few days since my last update, and I'm still in shock as I type this. I have the happiest announcement of my entire life. I gave birth. And not just to one baby, I have 2 healthy twin girls. I know I've been referring to my baby as my daughter, singular, this whole time. Believe me, I wasn't lying or being dramatic. One of them had been hiding during every ultrasound. Even my doctor was stunned. When they told me in the delivery room, I laughed and cried at the same time, completely overwhelmed. It felt like the universe had pulled one last surprise out of its sleeve. The moment I held them, everything else faded away. The drama, the lies, the fear, none of it mattered. All I could think was how fiercely I already love them, and how determined I am to give them a life filled with safety, warmth, and unconditional love. Something I've learned the hard way how important that really is. To everyone who said I could join their families, who told me I wasn't alone, who reassured me that I was doing the right thing, you have no idea how much that meant to me during my darkest moments. You carried me through this more than you'll ever know. As for the people claiming this story is fake, I'll say this once. Imagine sharing the worst, most painful chapter of your life, asking for guidance and being met with nothing but strangers mocking you and calling it fake. Food for thought. I won't be engaging with that negativity anymore. Back to the positives. Going forward, in any future updates, I'll be referring to my daughters as Maddie and Addie. They're here, they're healthy, and they are everything. Update 8. It's been a while. I've been focusing on my girls and work, so I had no time to post, sorry. I did set up the security cameras, and they work great. Unfortunately, they found where I live. I was at work, and my girls were at home with a babysitter. I saw on the cameras my sister's car pulling into my driveway. I immediately called the babysitter and told her to double-check that all of the doors and windows were locked, which they were. Then I told her to lock herself in my room, which is the farthest from the door. On the cameras, I saw my BIL walk over to the door, my sister behind him. They banged on the door to get in, but after around 30 minutes when they saw my car, I left work early, they stopped banging and started watching for me, waiting for something. When I got to my door, they demanded that I open the door and let them meet their kids, WTF? I told them no and to leave, which made them angry. They stormed off into their cars, and as they drove off, they were yelling about how you made a mistake and we will get our kids one way or another. I went back inside, paid the sitter extra for having to deal with that, and immediately ordered more cheap cameras for my phone. After that, I took care of the kids and then put them to bed, and then I went to bed. This was 2 weeks ago. What's my next move? Update 9. Hey, it's been a while. Unfortunately, I have bad news. I was at work again. I saw a random car pull into my driveway that I didn't recognize on the camera. I thought it might have just been a person turning around, but the car didn't leave. It was just sitting there. I was concerned because, like last time, I had left my girls home with the babysitter. I decided to leave work and go home. When I got home, I looked through the car window and nobody was in the car. I was confused, but then I saw the babysitter's car was gone. I was very confused by this. I walked over to the door and it was unlocked. I opened it to see my mom, dad, sister, and my sister's husband in my living room playing with Maddie and Addie. I immediately screamed at them, but my sister just smirked at me. She said something along the lines of, "You wouldn't give me my kids, so we had to do this." I screamed at them to get away from my kids and get out, but they refused. Then my mom said something like, "I told you to give your sister her kids. Be glad that she's nice enough not to file a report for kidnapping." I just ran down my hall into my room and locked the door. I dialed 911. When my sister realized what I was doing, she ran down the hall and started banging on the door and screaming at me. After a little bit, police arrived. They made my family leave, but not before my family lied to them. Fortunately, I managed to prove that it was a lie. After some more screaming, they eventually left. I filed a police report, and that's where I am now. This was 2 days ago. Update 10. Hey everyone. It's been a while. I've been busy working and raising my kids. How's everyone been? We've been good. I do have stuff to update y'all on with my crazy family, but that will take a while to write. I just want to let y'all know we're still alive, lol. Update 11. Hey guys! If you're still reading my updates, thank you for the support. I have a lot to update on, so I'll get started. In the beginning of March, my sister and Bill went to my house while the babysitter, I swear she's a godsend for staying, was watching Maddie and Addie, and they caused a distraction outside. It was in a specific area where I didn't have any view of on my cameras, so I was unaware. But the babysitter, who I'll name Noelle since she's reoccurring, went out to check on it. She went to the side of the house where the noise came from since the girls were taking a nap in the nursery. When she went out, sister and BIL snuck in and just took them. They took my babies, but the psychos left through a place where I did have a view. The motion sensor sent an alert to my phone, and since I was on lunch break, I checked it and immediately called Noelle. I told her to go call 911 and why. Then I called my boss and got off work early. I drove home, making the 30-minute drive in 15. I immediately told the cops, who were already there, what happened and the license plate on the car. They took it seriously and took statements from me and Noelle, plus the footage from the cameras. I decided easily I'd press charges once I could. I won't bore you with the details, partly since I don't remember it all from blocking it out, but they found my girls with my sister and her husband playing house. They were still asleep, but they were in a nursery, set up in the new house my sister and BIL had bought. They were taken into custody, and in late April, they were charged and sentenced to 12 years in prison on charges of aggravated kidnapping of 2 minors, breaking and entering, and a few other wonderful charges. In March, I was going to write about the trial while I went through it, but I was wrapped up in everything. Now me and the girls are doing fine, with a restraining order for when they get out of prison. Thanks for still being interested in my posts. I'll probably stop updating unless something major happens. I appreciate the support from everyone here. Thank you. Bye.